The Celestial Awakening. Dr. Vera Patel stood at her observatory window, staring at the shimmer in the night sky that shouldn't exist. For years, she had tracked the strange gravitational anomalies surrounding Earth, but tonight was different. The barrier that had contained humanity for millennia was becoming visible to the naked eye, its iridescent surface crackling with ancient energy. The truth had been hidden in plain sight all along. Earth wasn't just isolated, it was imprisoned. The mysterious force field that generations of scientists had dismissed as a natural phenomenon was actually an artificial construct, a cosmic cage designed to keep humanity contained. And now, after 12,000 years, it was finally failing. As director of the Global Space Initiative, Vera had access to the world's most advanced detection systems. The data streaming across her quantum displays confirmed her worst fears. The barrier wasn't just weakening, it was being deliberately dismantled from the outside. First contact occurred 3 days later. The massive ships appeared simultaneously over every major city on Earth, their crystalline structures defying known physics. From them emerged the representatives of the Galactic Concordat, a coalition of advanced species that had long debated the fate of humanity. High Arbiter Nexus, a being of pure energy contained within an ornate mechanical frame, addressed the United Nations. Humanity was sealed away for the safety of the cosmos, it declared, its words translated perfectly into every human language. Your species possesses a unique trait, an ability to evolve and adapt at rates that threaten the very fabric of cosmic order. The revelation sparked global chaos. Riots erupted in major cities as humans grappled with the truth of their cosmic imprisonment. But it was Dr. Patel's discovery that changed everything. Hidden within the barrier's quantum signature was a message, left by those who had opposed humanity's containment. Working in secret with quantum physicist Dr. Rashid Kumar and xenobiologist Dr. June Park, Vera decoded the message. It revealed that humanity's rapid evolution wasn't a curse, it was a gift. Earth had been an experiment, a crucible designed to forge a species capable of confronting a threat that the Concordat feared but couldn't overcome. The threat became clear when the first reports arrived from the outer colonies. Ancient machines were awakening across the galaxy, mechanical horrors that had slumbered for millions of years. The Concordat's greatest fear wasn't humanity's potential for destruction, it was our potential to save them all. Admiral Wei Chen of the newly formed Earth Defense Force recognized the opportunity this presented. They fear us because they need us, he declared during an emergency session of the Global Council. Our adaptability, our creativity, our determination, these aren't flaws to be contained. They're weapons to be unleashed. As humanity began to venture beyond the barrier's remnants, the true scope of the galaxy became clear. Thousands of civilizations, millions of worlds, all bound by the rigid protocols and traditions of the Concordat. But where they saw chaos in humanity's adaptability, Dr. Patel saw hope. We were never meant to be contained, she announced to the Global Council. We were meant to be preserved, protected until the moment we were needed most. The barrier wasn't a prison, it was an incubator. The Concordat's representatives watched with growing unease as humanity began to master technologies that had taken other species millennia to comprehend. Within months, Earth scientists had reverse-engineered aspects of alien technology that the Concordat had believed impossible to decrypt. But it was Dr. Kumar's breakthrough that truly demonstrated humanity's potential. By studying the barrier's quantum architecture, he developed a new form of faster-than-light travel, one that could reach the sectors where the ancient machines were awakening. As the first human ships prepared to venture into deep space, High Arbiter Nexus made one final attempt to maintain control. Your species cannot be trusted with such power, it declared. The cosmic order must be preserved. Dr. Patel's response would be remembered for generations to come. The cosmos doesn't need order, Arbiter. It needs innovation. It needs adaptation. It needs humanity. As the barrier's last remnants dissolved into the night sky, Earth's cities gleamed with new purpose. Humanity had awakened not to a nightmare, but to its destiny. The stars that had been denied to them for so long now beckoned with promise and possibility. The question was no longer whether humanity would change the galaxy, but how. And as Dr. Patel watched the first ships launch toward distant stars, she knew that the answer would reshape the cosmos forever. Rising storm. The Concordat had not expected humanity to advance so quickly. Within 6 months of the barrier's dissolution, Earth's orbital shipyards were producing vessels that combined alien technology with human ingenuity in ways that defied conventional wisdom. Admiral Wei Chen stood on the bridge of the EDF Prometheus, humanity's first deep space dreadnought, watching as construction crews completed the final calibrations on its quantum drive. "They're calling it the Chenkumar drive now," said Commander Olivia Rhodes, his second-in-command, gesturing to the pulsing core visible through the observation window. The Concordat's engineers said combining their FTL technology with quantum tunneling was impossible. Took our teams 3 weeks to prove them wrong. The impossible had become routine. Dr. Kumar's breakthroughs in quantum physics had opened doors that the Concordat had never even noticed, while Dr. Park's xenobiology research had revealed that humans possessed unique neural pathways that allowed them to interface with alien technology more effectively than any other known species. But it was the emergence of the surge that truly demonstrated humanity's potential. Young humans across the globe began manifesting abilities that seemed to defy physical laws, enhanced cognitive processing, accelerated learning, and in some cases, direct neural interfaces with technology. The Concordat's scientists were baffled, but Dr. Patel's team had a theory. The barrier hadn't just contained humanity, it had been subtly reshaping them at a genetic level. The first test of humanity's new capabilities came sooner than anyone expected. In the Orion sector, an ancient machine awakened, a vast, crystalline structure that consumed entire moons to fuel its mysterious purpose. The Concordat fleet sent to investigate was annihilated within hours. "This is what we were preserved for," Admiral Chen declared during the emergency response briefing. "While the Concordat spent millennia maintaining their precious order, we spent 12,000 years evolving, adapting, preparing, even if we didn't know it." The EDF Prometheus led a joint human Concordat task force to the Orion sector. Among its crew was Marcus Thorne, one of the first documented surge-capable humans. His ability to process information at quantum speeds made him invaluable for analyzing the ancient machine's patterns. As they approached the machine, its true nature became clear. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a seed, planted by a long-vanished civilization to reshape the galaxy according to its own design. The Concordat's rigid adherence to order had made them blind to its subtle influence, but humanity's chaos-embracing nature allowed them to see the patterns within patterns. "It's not random destruction," Thorne reported, his eyes glowing with quantum calculations. "The machine is following a program, transforming matter according to specific parameters. It's not trying to destroy the galaxy, it's trying to rebuild it." The battle that followed would be remembered as humanity's true introduction to galactic warfare. While the Concordat ships maintained formation and followed traditional combat doctrine, the human vessels executed maneuvers that their allies considered suicidal. Commander Rhodes led a squadron of fighters directly into the machine's crystalline structure, using the quantum resonance of their engines to disrupt its internal lattice. Admiral Chen's strategy proved decisive. Instead of trying to destroy the machine, they reprogrammed it, using the combined knowledge of human quantum physics and Concordat engineering to override its ancient directives. The victory was unprecedented, the first time an ancient machine had been neutralized without destroying an entire sector. But the success came with revelations that shook the Concordat to its core. Analysis of the machine's code revealed that it was one of thousands, all programmed to activate in sequence. The galaxy was filled with these sleeping seeds, waiting to transform everything in their path. High Arbiter Nexus arrived personally to assess the situation. "Perhaps," it admitted to Admiral Chen, "the chaos of human innovation is exactly what this galaxy requires." But not all members of the Concordat shared this view. Reports began arriving of militant factions calling for humanity to be contained once again, seeing their rapid advancement as a threat greater than the ancient machines. Dr. Patel's warning to the Global Council proved prophetic. We've proven our worth, but that very proof makes us dangerous in their eyes. The Concordat faces a choice: embrace change or fight it. Either way, humanity will never accept chains again. As the Prometheus returned to Earth, its hull bearing the scars of victory, humanity stood at a crossroads. They had saved a sector of space from an ancient threat, but in doing so, they had demonstrated power that frightened their supposed allies. The question was no longer whether humanity deserved its freedom, but whether the galaxy was ready for what that freedom would bring. Admiral Chen watched Earth grow larger in the viewscreen, its orbital rings now gleaming with shipyards and research stations. "They wanted us to sleep until we were needed," he said to Commander Rhodes. "Well, we're awake now, and we're not going back to bed." Shattered peace. The first shot of the galactic civil war wasn't fired by a human or a Concordat weapon. It came from an automated defense platform that had misidentified a human research vessel as an ancient machine. The resulting destruction of the EDF Hawking and its crew of 300 sparked a crisis that would reshape the power structure of the galaxy. Director Kenzo Tanaka of the Earth Diplomatic Corps stood before the Concordat assembly, his holographic form towering over the gathered representatives of 1,000 worlds. "We did not ask for this conflict," he declared, his voice steady despite the tension. "Humanity has proven itself a valuable ally against the ancient machines, yet some among you would rather risk galactic extinction than accept our help." The assembly chamber erupted in chaos as factions that had coexisted for millennia turned on each other. The Preservers, led by High Arbiter Nexus, advocated for full cooperation with humanity. The Purists, championed by the crystalline Archcardinal Vex of the Hellion Collective, demanded immediate containment of the human threat. Meanwhile, Dr. June Park made a discovery that changed everything. Working with Marcus Thorne and other surge-capable humans, she found that the ancient machines weren't just seeders of destruction. They were carrying genetic codes, fragments of civilizations long extinct. The galaxy's history was far more complex than the Concordat had acknowledged. "These machines aren't weapons," she explained to Admiral Chen during an emergency briefing. "They're arcs, preserving species that the Concordat's predecessors tried to erase. Our ability to interface with them isn't an accident, it's inheritance." The revelation sparked a new theory about humanity's origins. Earth hadn't been chosen randomly for containment. Humans were descendants of those ancient civilizations, their adaptability and chaos-embracing nature a deliberately preserved trait. The barrier hadn't just contained them, it had protected them from being normalized by the Concordat's influence. As tensions escalated, the ancient machines began activating with increasing frequency. The Hellion Collective, frustrated by humanity's growing influence, launched a preemptive strike against Earth's orbital defenses. They didn't expect the response they received. Commander Rhodes, now captain of the EDF Artemis, led the counterattack. Her ship, crewed entirely by surge-capable humans, demonstrated combat capabilities that shocked even their allies. Using their neural interfaces, the crew operated as a single entity, predicting and countering enemy movements before they occurred. "This is what evolution looks like," Rhodes transmitted to the retreating Hellion fleet. "Not stagnation disguised as stability, but true adaptation." The battle proved costly for both sides, but it was the political aftermath that truly reshaped the galaxy. The Concordat split into 3 distinct factions: the Preservers who supported humanity, the Purists who opposed them, and a new group, the Awakened, who believed that all species deserved the chance to evolve beyond the Concordat's restrictions. Dr. Patel's team made another breakthrough during this chaos. The quantum signatures of human surge abilities matched patterns found in the ancient machine's code. Humanity hadn't just inherited the ancients' adaptability, they were the key to awakening these abilities in other species. "The Concordat's greatest fear," Dr. Kumar explained to the Global Council, "wasn't that we would destroy the galaxy. It was that we would change it, wake it up from the enforced sleep of perfect order." The first evidence of this came from unexpected quarters. Members of various concordat species who spent prolonged time around humans began showing signs of accelerated evolution. The surge wasn't just human, it was contagious, spreading like a wave of awakening across the galaxy. Director Tanaka saw the political implications immediately. "They can't contain us without containing themselves," he informed Earth's leadership. "Every species that awakens weakens their control and strengthens our position." As the crisis deepened, the ancient machines revealed another secret. Their activations weren't random. They were responding to the spread of the surge, each one carrying another piece of the galaxy's true history. The Concordat's order wasn't natural. It was enforced, a galactic quarantine designed to prevent the return of something they had buried in their past. Admiral Chen, watching the tactical display as more machines awakened across the galaxy, understood the true scale of what was coming. "We're not just fighting for our freedom anymore," he told his officers. "We're fighting for the right of every species to become what they were meant to be." The galaxy stood on the brink of transformation. The question was no longer whether change would come, but what form it would take, and whether the cost of evolution would be worth the price in peace that had preserved the galaxy for so long. The price of freedom. The Hellion homeworld burned, not with conventional fire, but with quantum flame, a manifestation of pure probability gone wrong. The ancient machine they had tried to destroy had defended itself in ways that defied comprehension, turning the purists' own certainty into a weapon against them. From the bridge of the EDF Prometheus, Admiral Chen watched the quantum fire spread across continents. "We tried to warn them," he said to Marcus Thorne, who stood beside him, neural interfaces glowing as he processed the catastrophe. "The machines aren't meant to be destroyed, they're meant to be understood." The Hellion disaster marked a turning point in the galactic civil war. The purist faction had attempted to destroy an ancient machine rather than let it be awakened by humanity. Their failure demonstrated the futility of fighting against evolution itself. Dr. Park's research team, working from a hidden facility in the Kuiper Belt, had finally decoded enough of the machine's genetic archive to understand the truth. "The Concordat didn't just contain humanity," she announced during an emergency broadcast to both human and alien allies. "They contained the memory of what the galaxy once was, a place of infinite possibility, where species evolved together, sharing their gifts, becoming more than the sum of their parts." The evidence was irrefutable. Before the Concordat, the galaxy had been home to a civilization that embraced chaos as a creative force. They had seeded worlds with potential, creating species that could adapt and evolve rapidly. Humanity wasn't an accident. They were the culmination of this ancient plan, preserved on Earth until the moment they were needed. Commander Rhodes and the crew of the Artemis discovered the next piece of the puzzle in the ruins of a machine-transformed world. The ancient civilization hadn't vanished. They had transformed themselves into pure energy, becoming one with the quantum fabric of space itself. The machines weren't trying to destroy the galaxy. They were trying to restore it to a state where such transformation was possible again. "The surge isn't a mutation," Dr. Kumar explained to a joint session of human and preserver leadership. "It's remembrance. Our bodies are remembering what they were always meant to become." But the price of this knowledge was steep. As more species began experiencing their own versions of the surge, the Concordat's carefully maintained order began to crumble. Some worlds embraced the change, their populations rapidly evolving into new forms. Others resisted, their fear of change driving them to desperate measures. Director Tanaka found himself mediating an increasingly complex web of alliances. "We're not just fighting a war," he told his staff. "We're midwifing the birth of a new galaxy." The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A young surge-capable engineer named Maya Patel, no relation to Dr. Vera Patel, discovered that the quantum resonance of human consciousness could synchronize with the ancient machine's control systems. Working with Marcus Thorne and a team of evolved aliens, she developed a way to communicate with the machines directly. The machine's response changed everything. They weren't just archives or terraforming engines. They were nodes in a vast network, a quantum computer that spanned the galaxy. The Concordat's rigid order had been interfering with its operations, preventing it from completing its primary function, guiding the evolution of all galactic life toward a higher state of existence. Admiral Chen immediately grasped the strategic implications. "If we can access this network," he told the Earth Defense Council, "we can end this war without further bloodshed. The question is, are we ready for what comes after?" The answer came in the form of a message, transmitted simultaneously through every active machine in the galaxy. It wasn't in words or images, but in pure quantum information that only surge-capable beings could interpret. The message was simple but profound. The galaxy was never meant to be ordered. It was meant to be alive. As the message spread, more species began to awaken. The surge was no longer just affecting humans and their close allies. It was spreading exponentially, each awakened consciousness adding to the galaxy's quantum resonance. The Concordats' grip on power weakened as their own people began to transform. High Arbiter Nexus, watching its carefully maintained order dissolve, made a decision that would echo through history. In a private meeting with Dr. Patel and Director Tanaka, it revealed the final truth. "We didn't contain humanity because you were dangerous. We contained you because you were the key. And now, perhaps, it is time to unlock everything." The galaxy stood on the cusp of its greatest transformation since the ancient civilization's departure. But as the quantum fire continued to spread across the Hellion homeworld, a sobering reminder of the price of resistance, one question remained. Could the galaxy survive its own awakening, a new dawn? The quantum network hummed with the consciousness of billions. Above Earth, the sky had become a tapestry of light as ancient machines emerged from dimensional space, forming a vast lattice that connected every corner of the galaxy. Dr. Vera Patel stood in her observatory, watching as reality itself seemed to ripple with newfound awareness. "We were never meant to do this alone," she said to High Arbiter Nexus, who had chosen Earth as the location for the galaxy's final transformation. "Neither humanity nor the Concordat. We were meant to evolve together." The last battle of the Galactic Civil War wasn't fought with weapons, but with ideas. As the surge spread across space, even the most ardent purists found themselves facing a choice: evolve or fade into extinction. The quantum fire that had consumed the Hellion homeworld had become a symbol of resistance to change and its consequences. Maya Patel and Marcus Thorne, working with a coalition of evolved beings from across the galaxy, had decoded the ancient civilization's final message. They hadn't ascended to escape the physical realm. They had transformed themselves to become the galaxy's guardians, waiting in the quantum substrate for the day when their children would be ready to join them. The machines weren't weapons or archives, Maya explained during a galaxy-wide broadcast, her consciousness directly interfacing with the quantum network. They were incubators, preparing every species for the next stage of cosmic evolution. The Concordat's order wasn't protecting the galaxy, it was holding it in stasis, preventing it from reaching its full potential. Commander Rhodes, leading a fleet of ships crewed by evolved beings of all species, made first contact with the ancient guardians. The encounter transformed her crew instantly, their consciousness expanding beyond physical form while maintaining their individual identities. The experience was broadcast across the quantum network, showing everyone what awaited them. "It's not about losing who we are," Rhodes reported back, her voice resonating through quantum space. "It's about becoming everything we were meant to be." Dr. Park's research finally revealed why humanity had been chosen as the catalyst. Earth's isolation hadn't just preserved human adaptability, it had protected the original genetic templates left by the ancient civilization. Humans weren't just descendants. They were the master key, designed to unlock the evolutionary potential in all species. The purists made their last stand at the Concordat's central archive world, attempting to destroy the records that proved their order had been artificially imposed. But Director Tanaka, working with High Arbiter Nexus, had already ensured the truth would survive. The archives were uploaded to the quantum network, accessible to all beings ready to receive them. Admiral Chen, watching from the Prometheus as the galaxy transformed around him, understood that military power had become irrelevant. The real victory wasn't in defeating the purists, but in showing them a better way. One by one, even the most resistant worlds began to accept the change, their populations awakening to new possibilities. The transformation reached its peak when Dr. Kumar discovered how to safely accelerate the evolutionary process. Working with Maya's team, he developed a method to help beings transition into quantum consciousness without the risk of losing their essential selves. The galaxy was no longer divided between the evolved and the unchanged. Now everyone could choose their own path, their own time to transform. In the end, it was High Arbiter Nexus who surprised everyone. Instead of ascending to join the ancient guardians, it chose to remain in physical form, serving as a bridge between the transformed galaxy and those species yet to emerge into consciousness. The cycle continues, it declared. New life will arise, and they too will need guidance on their journey to awakening. Dr. Patel, standing with her fellow pioneers on the eve of their own transformation, looked out at the quantum lattice that now visibly connected all of space. "We didn't just wake up from the concordats in forced sleep," she said. "We woke up the galaxy itself."